Yes, good morning. Yes, it is being recorded. So quite a few people in today. I think we'll probably be at capacity soon. Yeah, take your time. We will start in about 1 minute here. If you were with me for last Saturday's webinar, it was a bit of there's good information, but it was a bit of a struggle. My voice it's come back quite a bit, but yeah, a lot of people registered, so I'm not sure whether they'll all be able to get in or not. Good morning, Darren. All right, so everything you see on the screen, all the information on the screen, I've actually put that into the chat, so you go to should be flashing with the order page as well as my email, Skype, and recently I've added a YouTube channel as well where I'm posting trade ideas and as well as our webinars. So without further ado, let's get started. 3 minutes in, 3 minutes past the bottom of the hour. I'm Jay, I'll be the host for your webinar, and we're here to talk about the Ninja Orderflow Trader Toolkit, and our theme is look inside the market. Morning, Chris. A lot of familiar faces, a lot of new ones too. Before we go any further, I just want to remind everyone that futures, forex, and options trading is risky, and therefore you can lose money. And you should only be trading with risk capital. That's capital. If you were to lose it, it would not affect your lifestyle or retirement plans adversely. Obviously, you should always consult a financial professional before making any investments. Please understand that everything we do and say in this webinar today is for educational purposes only. And the same goes for any of our emails, videos, or other promotional material in any kind of medium. Also understand that no guarantee of income is being made, nor is any solicitation of any security being made. Hey, John, welcome. New Noft owner. Excellent. Just a quick word on the webinar recordings. All the webinar recordings are uploaded to YouTube and are sent out at the end of each week. That can be as late as Monday or Tuesday, since this is the last webinar of the week. And they are sent out to everybody who's registered. So if you register, you'll get the recordings, even if you're not able to attend. If for some reason you don't receive an email with the recordings, please check your spam or junk folder before contacting customer service. And sometimes they can end up in there. If after registering for all the webinars and checking your spam or junk folder, you still haven't received the links, please send an email to customer service at ninjaorderflowtrader.com. Part of the reason I started the YouTube page was to get the webinars up posted as quickly as possible. So I'll send out a link to this webinar once it's uploaded and posted to YouTube. All right, we're going to do a similar format, but I will be breaking away from the usual slide presentation. We're going to do a bit more on the education side and kind of getting into the nuts and bolts of the Noft and how you're going to be able to use this thing to help you identify advantageous entries with minimum risk and maximum potential. So if any of you have been to my webinars before, you've probably seen this slide. Just a little bit about me. I was kind of at the end of my trading rope when I met Kai Whitney through another trade room. And it was Kai who taught me the nuts and bolts of auction market theory, volume profile, and very specifically the bid-ask ladder, or the footprint, as it's called, the tape, whatever you would like to call it. It was through his tutelage that I really began to see the light on what I was missing in my trading. And I felt that I had a good background in many different technical aspects, whether it was Fibonacci, pivots, whatever it was, candlesticks, patterns. But I always felt that there was something missing in my trade. Why would a certain pattern work one time and not work the other? And I'd always be looking for a way to filter the patterns that I was seeing. And it wasn't until I was able to understand how to see inside the market, as I mentioned at the top. Our theme is look inside the market, and really seeing what's going on behind all those candlesticks or bars or whatever you're using in your trading right now, to really see inside those and see the numbers, and more importantly, to be able to see which numbers actually have significance and meaning. I often talk about trading contextually, and for a lot of us who come from the retail space, it's all about indicators, and specifically lagging indicators, whether it's moving averages and whatnot, RSI, MACD, whatever it is. And those are nice. They have their place, usually on a hard drive that you never open up anymore. But in all seriousness, the price is not enough to tell you the real story. Think of it this way. The price is telling you the story, but it's the subtext that matters. And the subtext is the volume, the number of contracts bought and sold, the number of shares bought and sold, the number of bonds bought and sold. And there may be certain elements of that subtext that are important, and there may be elements of that subtext that are not important. And if you're just looking at a plain old footprint chart, you're not going to be able to determine that, the same way that if you're just looking at a good old bar chart or candlestick chart, you're not going to be able to determine what part of the story is important. So it was about, I guess, 45 days after starting my tutelage with Kai that I really began to see the light and understand what was missing in my trading. And I was very excited when Kai told me that he was working on this project, the NOF, the Ninja Orderflow Trader Toolkit, simply because most of what you're going to see today, a lot of it we were doing manually. So it took a lot more time to prepare the trade for the day. And it also was, well, you'll see it. The NOF just makes it so much easier. Whether it's identifying levels where institutions may be involved in the market, or where bigger blocks of traders might be getting caught on the wrong side, you'll be able to see that very clearly. So if you still aren't seeing the light at the end of the tunnel in your trading career, we can certainly help you with that. If you're still struggling trading or using lagging indicators, the NOF can certainly help you, as we use market-generated information and not any kind of lagging information. We use the information where the traders have actually committed and made an investment, as opposed to any kind of oscillator. It'll be both, John. If you're having challenges when reading the footprint or bid-ask ladder, the NOF can certainly simplify how you're reading the tape. And if you're profitable already, the NOF can certainly move you from good to great. I'm just going to breeze through these screenshots. As I mentioned in previous webinars, I could talk all day about how great the NOF is, but the bottom line is, what can you do with it? Okay, how can you use it? So what I've done here is I've put up screenshots that I've actually thieved from our NOF Skype trade room. We have a Skype room. It's by invitation only, once you're proficient with the NOF. But the traders in there, they're serious traders, and they will post their trade ideas. And they will share how they're using the NOF. So in this example, this user had what we call a homework level, and we'll talk about that a bit later. But that's this yellow dashed line here. Okay, so they had a couple homework levels already put up on their charts. And what happened? Well, this user identified institutional block trades, which are placed on the chart by the NOF in horizontal fashion. You can see them in red here. So these are institutional block sales. So as we came up into their homework level, what happened? All of a sudden we get large block sellers showing up. The user has indicated that they've entered short at 44, and the market subsequently declined. The user had another homework level further below, near the 75 level. This is a crude oil chart, 15-minute chart, by the way. And again, the market also declined about another 20 plus ticks. So just these two trades alone, I don't know where this user exited. However, look at where the trade was in relation to the candle, okay? Well before the close of the candle. I'm sorry, my voice is scratching again, but I'm going to make it through. Yeah, very important point. We popped up into this level, and then trade entry short at 44. Well, assuming that candle number 2 is where they entered, they were certainly short before the close of candle number 2. So, food for thought. Again, more members showing how they're using the NOF. This user here is using a range chart. Again, the NOF is not locking you into any kind of algorithm or particular time frame. You can use it on any chart, whether it's a bar chart, range chart. Excuse me. So yeah, whether it's a bar chart, regular bar chart, tick chart, range chart, custom bar chart, volume chart, whatever, you can use the NOF on that. Okay. We come up into a level here. This user is saying that they've identified some stacked aggressive sellers up here. We'll talk about that later. And the market subsequently declines. Same thing now on the reverse side. Come into the PLOD, so that must be the previous low of the day. This user identifies aggressive buyers coming in at the previous low of the day, and we go higher. Notice how in this decline, coming into the previous low of the day. I want to turn your attention briefly just to the coloration of the numbers in the slide. As we're coming down here, how many green numbers do you see? And based on that alone, what direction would you be expecting the market to go? So obviously, if red numbers are aggressive sellers and green numbers are aggressive buyers, it's obvious where this market is going. Can you use this for stocks on the daily time frame? Yes, you can, George. The blue bars at the bottom, I'm assuming that's just a volume histogram, Keith. Again, variations on a theme. Now what this user is saying, which is interesting, is as we're coming down here into this R1 pivot, you get a very high number of aggressive sellers coming in, but they can't push the market further down. So obviously there's buy limits sitting here that are getting absorbed, and what happens? The very next bar is very neutral. There's not much red or green in that bar at all. And then on the subsequent bar, we start to see aggressive buying. Yes, you can, Gina. You can place your orders. This is on the NinjaTrader platform, so if you're trading through NinjaTrader, you can place your orders through that. Okay, I've tried knowing how to have my chart to show a clean buying, selling like this, but don't know how. Is there any ways I can see the setting, how this can be done? Yeah, Skip, email me. We have templates, okay? I would highly advise using the templates first, okay? Frank actually makes a good point. He says a timestamp at 9:02 is very fast. Yeah, I'm not sure the 9:02, but this is actually 8:49 in here, and then 8:51, 8:52. So that was over a 3-minute period, those 3 bars. However, you do make a good point, and the way we deal with that, Frank. So just to finish reading his comment here. Just as those are stuck, oil lately has had nanosecond reversal stuff to time that kind of fast move. Oh, okay, on the previous slide. Okay. Yeah, the way we deal with these, Frank, I mean, if it's too fast, I will just wait for the price to come back in again. And I'll show you how to do that later on. The point of these slides is just to show you what the users are doing and what they're able to see, so that they can get positioned correctly on the right side of the market. So again, here's a chart of the ZN, the 10-year, okay? Similar theme. In this downtrend, how many green numbers do you see? We don't see many. We got red, 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 all in here. There's one green in this whole area. The bonds are going down, and as far as I know on this chart, they did continue down. No, we don't have any affiliation with them, Robert. And you don't need to spend 10 grand to get this information. All right, here's another trade by user. Okay, here's the actual trade taken. You can see they've entered here. Test of the previous low of the day. Aggressive buys come in. They're long from 44. And they're already up 13 or 14 ticks by the time this slide is taken care of. So I could talk and show you lots of different screenshots from members. We've had sessions where members have come in and talked about how they're using the NOFT and how they're having success. So I just thought I'd share some of those with you. And some of the comments that I've poached from our Skype chat room. And we're going to have some announcements later as well. 30 ticks out of the signal. 20 trades today and only one red one. First 100 tick day ever. 126 ticks, a great day. 10 ticks on 10. What I find amazing about this is that never have I seen so many traders having that much success in such a short period of time after learning how to use this tool. So the great thing about the NOFT is it's fully customizable. Okay. Yeah, David, I answered that earlier. It will work on custom bar types. So it is fully customizable. Okay, you can change the color schemes. You can adjust the boldness of certain numbers. There's just so much flexibility in the NOFT toolkit. Again, variations on a theme. Test of the high of the day. Aggressive sellers coming in. The market sells off. Another slide. Come up to a pivot point. Aggressive buyers just disappear, and we get aggressive sellers coming in. Keith, I've mentioned it multiple times. It's not my chart. Okay. These aren't my charts. I'm showing users' charts. Okay. I can show you tons and tons and tons of charts. I personally trade off 3-minute charts and usually 15-minute charts, but you can trade off any time frame, any kind of chart that you like. No, it's not, Jim. So here's another aspect of the NOFT. Okay, this is one thing that we call stack trades. All right, we'll get into it. And we've got this user has identified an area up here on this 15-minute chart where there's stack trades. And I think this was from the comment earlier from the Skype room, the excerpt that I took, and then they took a short out of that and got 10 ticks on 10. So what is NOFT? It's a unique trading software tool for any transparent, electronically traded market, developed by a seasoned ex-Wall Street trader in conjunction with Ninjacators. For those of you not familiar with a footprint chart, that's a lot of what the charts that we've been looking at are, okay, with the NOFT place on them. It's a chart that provides price and volume activity together on one data point over a specified period of time and attempts to provide traders with increased price transparency and a clearer picture of market activity. Patience, people, patience. There's a lot of people in here today. I will get to all your questions. If I don't get to them immediately, it simply means that the answer is coming. So again, here we have just a simple candlestick chart, all right? And what do we have here? We've got different kinds of formations here, bullish engulfing, got some dojis up here, maybe some shooting stars or hangmans, whatever you want to call them, however you want to define them. The challenge with looking at this kind of chart is, where do you get in? And more importantly, where is your stop? If, let's say, based on some kind of pattern here on the right-hand side of the chart, let's say I believe that I should be going short here. Well, where is my stop? Is it above the high of this bar, which looks like it's equal to the doji, the high of the doji bar? Or is it here? Or is it up here? Okay? And let's say I missed this particular entry point. Well, where's my next potential entry point? Is it at the close of this bar here? Or is it on a pullback? And if not, where? Okay? So the bottom line is, if you're not using a tool like the NOFT, and there's not many out there like it, you're missing a big piece of the picture. So this would be just your standard run-of-the-mill footprint chart. Okay. So this is the NOFT, but with nothing on it. Okay, nothing of significance showing us any meaning within all these numbers. You've got the contracts bought on the right, the contracts sold on the left. Okay. No, it's not, Jim. Yeah, sorry, Nestor. I had to take a sip of water there. You know my voice has been cracking up here. All right, so contracts bought on the right, contracts sold on the left. So let's just assume for a moment that let's just say this is a bullish engulfing pattern. Okay. Well, where do I get in, and where is my stop? Okay. Is my stop at the low, or is it one tick below the low of the swing point? Where is my entry? Is it here, here, here? Where is it? And let's say I missed that. Well, where in this little pause here, where is there an advantageous place for me to enter? So again, just looking at this plain footprint chart, you don't have the answers that you need to make an informed decision. Now, here's the difference with the NOFT footprint, okay? What happens here? We've got the NOFT volume composite drawing a low volume area up at 2043.5. And as we come up into that area, what happens? We have the NOFT reversal signal. We haven't talked about that a lot lately, but we're going to in this webinar. It's indicating potential selling going on. And what do we have? We got aggressive sellers showing up in red. All right, so tell me, where's my entry? Well, very simple. Where's my entry? Where's my stop? Here's your entry. Here's your stop. Your stop is not one tick above the high or a couple ticks above the high. It's at the high. Your entry is at 2042 3/4 or better, but you don't get better because that's as good as it gets on this particular entry. So we've come into an area of interest. That's this low volume area drawn by the NOFT volume composite. And you get 2 bites at the apple. So we've got, first let's take a look. What kind of stop are we looking at here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got a 4-tick stop here. All right? And the market goes down. The market comes back up to the exact same price point. You have another potential entry there. And it continues back down. Now, if you were just looking at the previous chart, we just go back to the previous chart just for a moment, you wouldn't have that information. So the whole point of the NOFT is to make the footprint easier to read and to show you the relevant information so you can get in at an advantageous price point with minimal risk and maximum benefit. Anybody familiar with volume profile? Anybody using volume profile? All right, very good, Arjit. Arjit, I hope I'm saying that right. Yes, the gold gold bars, we'll talk about that. Those are what we call auction or unfinished business. And we'll get into that more later on. I'm sorry, folks. I'm having to pause because of my voice. Steven, you're funny. All right. So anyway, volume profile. Basically, it's a statistical curve, all right? Bell curve placed against the y-axis of the chart to represent the volume traded at each price point that it's been constructed against, okay? So on the vertical axis, you'll typically see a bar or a line that represents the number of contracts that were actually traded at that price. So this is the NOFT volume profile example. This is the NOFT volume composite, all right? This is a 15-minute chart of the Aussie dollar contract, okay? And what's it telling us? It's giving us the top of the range. It's giving us the value area high, the volume point of control, the value area low, and the bottom of the range. And you can color code that any way you want, and we do have alerts built into it for when you cross the different thresholds. I apologize if I'm not going fast enough for a lot of you. I'm going to speed it up, but I'm having to go slower simply because of my voice. All right, so another example of the composite, the NOFT volume profile indicator, what we call the NOFT volume composite. It's going to plot all your significant levels, volume point of control, value area high, value area low. It's also going to give you the low volume nodes. We've talked about that earlier. And you can adjust it to whatever you want in terms of a time frame, days, hours, minutes, seconds. It can be drawn as a bar or as a line. All the colors are adjustable and can be changed within the indicator settings. And you have the ability to hide or show any aspect of the indicator. And as I mentioned earlier, the audible alert is included. In keeping with volume profile, we have another volume profile indicator, which we call the dynamic volume profile. And what this allows you to do is click anywhere on the chart and then drag to the right. And that's going to draw you the profile for that particular section of the chart. So for instance, if we draw from here to here, in other words from that swing point up to that swing point, now we have a profile drawn. And what happened after subsequently drawing that profile? The market backed off to where? The volume point of control, which is indicated in red. Where did the market come back up to and fail or retest? The value area high. Came back down again, tested that volume point of control area, and then continued higher. So again, you can use this on any kind of chart that you like, any kind of swing point. You can do high to high, low to low, low to high, whatever you like, and then that's going to draw the dynamic profile on your chart. So this is actually a similar tool being marketed in the marketplace for, I think, between $350 and $500 US. You actually receive this with your purchase of the NOFT, all right? And so here it is on a chart of the 6B, the British pound, 15-minute chart. Again, similar thing. We come up, we make a high up here, draw from the swing high up here to the swing low down here. And then what does the market do? It retraces to this value area high, and then we continue lower. Anybody using delta? Anybody using cumulative delta? The NOFT is going to place the delta number on the top of your bars, okay? All right, so anybody who's using that? If you're into delta averages, we've also got the delta average. And we've got the delta order flow histogram. What I like about this histogram is you have an ability to set a custom threshold and alert. So you can actually set a custom threshold. For example, on this is the ES 5000 volume chart. And what we've got here is I've set the threshold to positive 2000 and negative 2000. So whenever it's hitting 2000 or negative 2000, it's actually drawing. You can see them, the little blue rectangles within the histogram itself, and a audio alert will actually pop up as well. What I like to use this indicator for is divergences. So obviously we had some positive divergence here as we came in and made a lower low. We popped up here. We made a higher high. Certainly a divergence there from the high. No email alert on that. Just the audible alert for now. Good question though. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I want to get into more of the the meat, I guess you could say, of the NOFT and what we're doing with it. But it is worth noting that, there's a lot of differences between retail and what's going on the other side of the trade. And I guess the key point would be that, our first focus is controlling risk. And I'm going to show you how to do that. We already had one example where I showed you vortex risk. And for those of you who are criticizing the fact that I haven't shown you any live charts, one, the market is closed, and two, I show them all the time during our I've showed them all the time during our webinars, and also I like to record my trades. I like to video them, and if you go to the YouTube channel, you'll be able to see some trades that I've posted up there as well. And it's the same thing over and over again. 4, 6 ticks risk on a trade, going 50, 60 ticks, whatever it is, whatever I can get out of the trade. And I've even posted break even or losing trades. But our first focus is on controlling risk. Okay. And so we're using market-generated information instead of the lagging indicators. All right. And as I mentioned at the top of the webinar, I was trained by Kai, who has decades of experience on the professional side of the market. So it's just something to keep in mind. Nah, Kai, I'm too polite. So what's included in the NOFT, and we're going to really get into many of the important aspects of it. Sure, I'll let you have the mic. All right, you're on. Can't hear you. All right, I'll wait for you to come on. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Good morning.
Here. Yeah, good morning, everybody.
How you doing?
Good, thanks. Thank you for joining us this morning. I want to thank you, Jay. I know that you're not feeling well, and you're doing this, and I appreciate it. I'm sure everybody here has appreciates what you're doing as well. Obviously, this is an opportunity to share with you something that has taken me decades to figure out. I had access to this information as an institutional trader. That's really what separates us versus, institutions versus a retail, is they have the proper information. What you're fed through the retail space is not enough information for you to be consistently successful. And that's the reason why you have such a high failure rate. So I'd like to ask, there was a very, we had over 300 people register for this, and we only have 100 people capacity. If this is something that you've seen before or that you already know, you're more than welcome to bail out and exit the webinar and make room for someone who this will help. I promise you this. This is the correct information that you need. But there are a lot of folks out there that still don't understand that this is what they need. So, you have to be, the student has to be ready for the teacher to appear. And what you're hearing is, Jay came from the same background that you folks are at, not too long ago, where he was ready to give up trading, period. I spent time with him and helped him understand how the market really works. And from there, now he'll never look back. If that's not an investment that you would like to make within yourself, then please. Jay is under the weather. He's helping others that are ready for this information, and if you're not, respectfully just bow out. Okay? This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. We're not going to sit here and tell you when to buy and when to sell something. If you're interested in doing something like that, I promise you there are rooms out there that will do that for you. And I can guarantee you, whatever they're advertising that they're making, you will not make the same. It's absolutely impossible to get the same trade that they're putting on. It's called an auction market theory. For every buyer, there's a seller. So if you're at any point lagging behind their buy or their sell, you're not getting filled. You're getting slipped, and you're getting taken out just as they're still in the trade, and you'll have to take every single trade that they take. And that's nearly impossible to do unless you fully understand their strategy. We're taking the time to share with you the strategy behind the success. So please, give Jay a break. That's all I have to say. Thanks.
No, there was really only one troublemaker, Kai. It's all right. He's gone now.
Well, you know what? Kick him out. We don't need him.
He's gone.
We'll take his money.
I kicked him out already.
Okay.
He's gone.
Good. We'll take his money on Monday.
You got it. All right, guys. Thanks for your professionalism. I appreciate it. So what's included with the NOFT? And it's actually good that Kai came on because it gave my voice a rest. And I appreciate your time today, and I appreciate your patience, but I guarantee you, by the end of this, it will be worthwhile. All right? So what's included with it? We've got imbalance. You've seen those red and green numbers or the red and blue numbers that we've been talking about. That's imbalance. Somebody asked about the gold bars or lines on the chart. That's auction. We're going to go through all this. Block trades, I think the very first chart I showed you was one of the members' charts that had block trades on it. Those were those institutional block sales that they had on their chart. Stack trades, I showed you another chart with stack trades. Those are a certain amount of volume at a particular price point has to be stacked on top of another. Okay, trade size, similar to block trades but different. The second part of the NOFT is what we call the NOFT I-Ghost block. We've got stacked imbalance. That's going to draw zones on the chart. We're going to get into that. The second part of that I-Ghost block indicator is what we call block zones. So what we've done is taken those block trades that you saw, and if there's multiple block trades stacked on top of one another, we're going to get a zone drawn. I briefly touched on the reverse signal. We're going to talk about that a little bit more today because there's something coming up with that. We've got audible order flow. We've got settlement deviation lines. Anybody trading options? If you're into deviations, we've got settlement deviation, and we've also got something else coming up with the deviation line, something new that's going to be coming out. So I promise you, if you stick around to then, it's going to be worth it. We've got a static volume profile, if that's what you're into. If anybody's familiar with the Ninjacator's supply and demand indicator, that one's included in the NOF package. We have an indicator that just plots out the value area, if you just want to see the value area. Okay. NOF delta average, we've already seen that today. We've talked already about the volume composite and the volume profile, the dynamic volume profile wand. And we also have what we call the NOF time and sales delta tracker. All right. Let's move forward. Okay, which markets work best with the NOFT? To answer George. Let me see here. Yeah, George, it can work on any market, any transparently traded market, okay? It will work on Forex, but again, Forex doesn't have a centralized exchange, so we have to use the up-down tick data, all right? So it's not as transparent a market as something like that's being traded on the New York Stock Exchange or on the NYMEX or the CBOT. So just keep that in mind. But it's going to work with stocks. I know Kai himself is trading stocks and ETFs. We got lots of guys trading futures, so it's going to work on any market. Okay. We also got bond traders as well. Robert says he can relate to my story. Thanks, Ralph. When used with the volume profile, NOFT is an amazing tool. Thanks, Ken. NOFT useful for options trading. Yep. Yeah, it is. Is Nadex good to use with the NOFT? Yes. Okay, Ken. Email support at ninjaorderflowtrader.com or email me, and I'll get you taken care of on the block zones there. All right. So why do you need this thing? And I'm going to go into tons and tons of examples. I just want to kind of get through this. We've kind of done examples and introductory information, but I want to get into the actual training on how to use this. So just let me go through this, and then I'm going to actually train you to some degree on how to actually use this thing. So, what are the immediate benefits you're going to get out of having this tool? One, you're going to be utilizing the transparency of the market. Okay? You're going to stop missing out on the key information. One of the cool things that I like is it makes the homework easier. Okay? You still have to do homework. There is work involved. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that trading is easy and that this is some magic black box that is going to, save your financial status. It's not going to happen. Okay? But I'll guarantee you it's going to give you an edge, and I'll guarantee you it's going to save you time. Okay? Why? Well, the NOF places all the, I put here NOF places all the information you need to know on the charts, but I guess I should say it places the important information, okay, on the chart in real time automatically, okay? So it makes the footprint a lot more logical and easier. Remember, near the beginning of the presentation, I showed you just a blank footprint, okay? That is difficult to read, okay? You want something that's going to highlight the important information. I mean, think back to when you were in school. Think back to, any kind of examination you had or practicum, okay? You had to get the nuts and bolts, the key information memorized, or you had to learn how to do that first, get it under your belt, and then you're able to move forward. And that's what the NOFT helps you do, okay? This cannot be discounted enough, all right? You're using a tool developed by a real professional trader, okay? Someone who's worked behind the scenes and knows how the market really works, all right? And you heard from him earlier. You can see the structure of the market, the actual contracts or shares actually traded at each price level, and which prices are actually important on each side. Locate the individual clusters of large or institutional orders. Somebody was talking about icebergs earlier. Okay? Well, that's what the NOFT helps you do, because then you know what the big boys are doing, or the big girls, and hopefully you don't get bitten as often that way. What I like is to see where one side has committed substantial capital relative to the other side and attempt to move the market their way, so you can see who's more aggressive and trade with them. Okay? So visually identify areas for smoother, more logical entries, reduce the number of stops, and reduce your stop size. I mean, is anybody here, could any of you use any of these benefits? Sure you can. All right, so what's the core engine behind the NOF toolkit? It's the order flow sequence tracker, okay? Why? It's looking for sequences in the numbers, okay? It's looking for logic behind the numbers, all right? What does it give you the ability to see? Trade imbalance, auction, block trades, and more, all right? So using the trade imbalance setting, it's easy to see this is the ES on a 3-minute chart. All right. We can easily see who's in control. Buy imbalances are contracts bought and bolded in blue. Sell imbalances are bolded in red. What does that mean? What does an imbalance mean? Well, it's a multiple, okay, of the other side. So if I set the imbalance to 300%, then in order for a number within this footprint to be color-coded, it has to be 3 times greater than the other side. Very simple calculation, but very useful. Okay? So if on one side of the market, let's say on the sell side, I have 15 contracts at a certain price point. And then on the other side of the market, on the buy side, I have 50 contracts. Well, 15 into 50 is more than 3 times. This 50 is going to be color-coded. Pardon me. This 50 is going to be color-coded green or blue or whatever color you want to color-code it. Okay? So that's how the calculation is going to be made. All right? Okay. So if we look at this ES chart, and I've drawn a little gold gold box here. It's late at night for me. It's 11:30 p.m. We can see before the ES sold off, it was very clear that the aggressive sellers were present. That was the early warning sign that the market was likely headed south. Do you see in here any blue, any highlighted blue? No, you don't. The market sells off. You can see my second gold box here. It's still a sea of red. There were only 2 aggressive buyers, or 2 aggressive buy levels, I should say, that were highlighted in blue. And what happened? The market continued to sell off. So very easy using the trade imbalance within the order flow sequence tracker to see who's in control. All right, going on to the next part of the order flow sequence tracker, what we call auction. Okay. Each bar represents an auction for that time frame. Okay. Buyers are bidding, sellers are asking. Okay. And what happens? Within each bar, usually the auction is going to be closed, or what we consider capped, if you're going to have, let's say, a number at the bottom of the bar and a 0, and a 0 and a number at the top of the bar. If the auction does not finish in that type of sequence, you're going to get a horizontal line placed on the chart by the auction indicator. By the way, most of the indicators within the toolkit and within the order flow sequence tracker, they can actually be toggled, so you can take them off the screen anytime you like. So it's drawing these lines vertically out into the chart. Well, what's important about them? How I like to use them, I like to use them as trailing stops, and they're also great for targets. Why? Because they are areas where the market will revisit in the future. Okay, the market will come back and resolve that unfinished auction. So it's placing the horizontal lines, and look at, this is a TF chart, and you can see as we sold off, you could have caught the bulk of the move if you're just trailing your stop behind those lines. Okay. Again, settings are fully adjustable and customizable. Another aspect of the order flow sequence tracker, what we call block trades. Block trades are a minimum size set by the user. Okay. Minimum number of contracts on one order coming through the tape for you to get this kind of horizontal line drawn on the chart. So for example, on something like gold, maybe we want an order of 15 contracts or greater. So somebody actually has to have an order of 15 or greater coming through the tape. This is not reconstructing the tape, okay? It's not, checking to see if somebody put an order of, 3 orders of 5 contracts come through the tape. No. Somebody's actually got to commit that size for this to be drawn on the chart, okay? So what happens, we get a little pop on gold. Looks like it's around the London Open or just before the London Open. Little pop, and what happens? All of a sudden, a couple of heavy sellers come in, block sellers. And what happens? You're on the right side of the market. No, it's got to be one order, John. Just 115 or greater. So if somebody came in 16, okay, no problem. Oh, I get your question. Good question. I will check on that, John. That is a great question. I will find out about that. I misread it, but that's a great question. So here we have block trades again, this time on the buy side. Okay, these are block buys. All right. So as we moved up in this gold market, you can see very clearly heavy buyers in the market represented by the green lines. More importantly, you know which side of the market to be on. Okay. NOFT ghost block. Okay. So I'm just going through these slides, and then we'll go grab some real charts. All of you who have seen me before, I will just go grab some random chart, and we'll break it down. So don't think that we're just going to be looking at slides all through this thing, because that's not how I work. And besides, I get bored. It's the ghost block. Using the footprint, the NOFT ghost block draws zones of support and resistance horizontally on the chart. These zones are drawn based on information contained in the footprint, the actual number of contracts bought and sold, and the ghost block has 2 different functions within it: block zones or stacked imbalance. Okay? The block zones are going to be drawn when a group of orders equal or greater to a certain size are both filled and stacked on top of each other. Yes, yesterday? Yeah, yes was naughty yesterday, wasn't it, Stephen? No surprise, non-farm payroll. Stacked imbalances are going to be drawn when there are aggressive buyers or sellers stacked on above or below one another. So what's the point of these levels? Great areas to buy into or sell into when the market retests. So what happens? This is the YM, so here's the Dow, all right? And what do we got? Block buy zone made near the end of the day, end of the US session. And during the Asian session, all we do is test that. Come back out, test it. Come back out, test it, test it. Finally move away, we go up. What happens? We get another block buy zone, but the market can't get through it. So, in terms of being mentally flexible, if it can't get through that block buy zone, if there are heavy buyers here and we can't get through that, where's the market going? Down, which is exactly what happens. Another example, here's heavy buyers trapped up at the top, okay? So this is crude oil on a 60-minute chart. That's another cool thing about the imbalance zones and the stacked imbalance zones and the block zones is you can actually put them on any chart, okay? So this is just a 60-minute bar chart. You can see it's drawing the zones for you. So you got block buyers, block zones, and they're up near the high. Look out below. And you can adjust the opacity of these zones to whatever you like. So here's an example of stacked imbalance, similar to the ghost blocks. We have the stacked imbalance. So what it's doing is it's taking the concept of imbalance and turbocharging it. Okay. So when there's actually a series in sequence of imbalances on one side of the market, it's actually going to draw horizontal lines automatically on the chart. Okay. And what's cool about that is that you're actually going to see what I would call or coin, true support and resistance areas. Why? Because they're generated from the actual number of contracts bought and sold, not from price. So on the left of the chart, we sell off a little bit. We create this first sell zone up here. Here's your first potential entry. Okay, when we come back into that, we sell off, we come back in, test that zone again. There's your second potential entry. We go down. As we go down, we create another zone here and another zone near the bottom. We can't really get through that zone at the bottom. Well, where are we going? Comes back up, test this zone. Third potential entry. Back down, cannot get through that zone. This is either an aggressive buy area, okay, or you just wait for it to come back up and stick with the trend. Fourth potential entry. Down, we finally break through that zone. We make another zone, come back up. Fifth potential entry. So if you're only into trend trades and only taking trades with the trend, this is a great indicator for you, okay? And it's not lagging. It's based on the actual number of contracts bought and sold. The Delta Tracker, okay? If you've ever wondered when to get out of your trade or take some profits off the table, the tracker can certainly help you. If you hit the reset button after entering a trade, the Delta Tracker is going to monitor the time and sales and give you a clear understanding of whether there's more buying or selling after you've entered the market. Obviously, more buyers, the thermometer is going to show more green, more sellers, it's going to show more red. There is also a cool aspect of the indicator is there's an audible block trade alert, okay? So if you actually don't like to have the block trades on your chart, if you want to get rid of some of the lines on your chart, well, you could actually just throw up the TS Delta Tracker, and then when a block trade comes through, it's actually going to give you an audible alert. So if you like clear charts, that one's definitely for you. And what this is doing, I believe this is only measuring market orders. Okay, so we're actually the programmers. I don't know exactly how they do that. It has something to do with the routing, but it's measuring market orders coming through. Okay. This is actually another user's chart. Okay, and it's I threw this in here. I don't know. It's totally out of sequence, but that's okay. It just goes to show you, this person has figured out, how to read the NOFT. So before we continue, I just want you to think about, where are you as a trader, whether you're still losing, break even, or consistently profitable. I would wager that most people in this room are probably in the first two, still losing or break even. And what's going to get you over here to the right, okay? If it wasn't the majority that was over here, we wouldn't have people coming back again and again and getting this information, and more people seeming to purchase the NOFT with even more speed than before. So the word is getting out. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to break away from the slide presentation. It kind of, I guess in some ways, it kind of cramps my style. All right, let me find a chart here. Somebody wanted the ES. Let me see. I have a chart of the ES yesterday. One moment, please. Thanks for being patient and sticking with me. Yes, chart, where are you? Yes. So here's the ES yesterday. Okay. So here's the same. I'm going to talk a little. I'm going to talk a little bit about, initiated buying, responsive buying, initiated selling, responsive selling a little bit. Okay. And what's interesting about the ES yesterday? I mean, it was a very yucky. I've shown a lot of gold charts already. I don't have it. I don't have it loaded, but I'll show some various markets. We'll take a look at the ES. We'll look at crude, and maybe we'll look at a forex chart as well. I want to show you something that what happens with the NOF. We've talked about the imbalance and the aggressive buyers or sellers. And on the ES yesterday, around, I guess just before 11, we'd actually come up to the value area high here. The NOF just placed that line on the chart for us. And we back away from that line, and we do it on aggressive selling. Okay. What's interesting about this is you had the heaviest number of aggressive sellers, this 2711 highlighted in red, and we can't get below. We only go a couple ticks below that. That was a sign that, I'm actually showing you in a different fashion how to actually use this to actually tell when the sellers are actually being absorbed. Okay. So what's happened is you get aggressive sellers trying to take the market lower, and it can't go lower, and they come in again later here on this bar, and they can't take it lower, and then all of a sudden you start to see aggressive buyers in here. Okay, and the market goes higher. All right. So I mean, it was a pretty terrible range day yesterday on the ES, but again, it's the same, variations on a theme. So if we turn around like that, okay, well, that's fine, Jay. Well, where's my entry and where's my stop? Okay, well, here it is. So we turn around, we get aggressive buyers coming in. Okay. So where should the market not go? Remember this bar back here, the first sign of aggressive buyers? Your stop is right below them. What is the stacked imbalance? Okay. All right. So we should not go below that. All right. So there's your stop and your entry anywhere within these 4 ticks. All right. And the stacked imbalance, this stacked imbalance sell zone, you see how we tested that on this bar? We just tapped it, and then we move away. So I'm just going through the questions. No problem, Bill. Glad you got back in. Yeah, you're welcome, Apurba. No problem. Yeah, all my charts are set to Eastern Standard Time, even though I'm in Hong Kong. All the charts are actually set to Eastern Standard Time. Was there something Stephen was asking? Was there something specific you wanted me to look at, Stephen? About the ES? Was there any particular time yesterday? Good question, Robert. We don't have an actual trading room. Okay, we do have a Skype room where our traders share their trades, trade ideas, etc. We don't have a room that's actually moderated. And we do have over 30 hours of video training within the member section, and you also get 2 live over-the-shoulder sessions with Kai. Okay, so you actually get training with somebody that's actually sat on a professional trade desk. Yeah, exactly, Stephen. That entry that I just showed you was a quick 5 points. Yeah. So I mean, do I want to trade this? No. Do I want to trade the non-farm payroll? Not really. Okay, but there's 830 if that's what you wanted to look at. Okay. And it's funny that there is actually a trade opportunity in here afterwards. If you look up here, you've got the stacked sell imbalances. Okay. You got imbalances all through here. So we get the reaction, we go down, and where do we come right back up to? Well, right up to the same area. Okay. And then we sell off from there. All right, so you can actually toggle this. I'm just going to toggle this to, let's toggle it to block trades first of all. Somebody's asking about icebergs, okay? Mark, there's going to be tons of different ways that those are going to be broken up, okay? So it really depends. It really depends on how it's going to be broken up, okay? What often you'll see is if we use a setting called stack trades. Okay, it's not set properly on this chart, so it's not going to give us any information. So I'm just going to use block trades. Okay, I have to adjust the template, but the block trades, obviously, what I just said earlier is, after the non-farm payroll reactor went down, and we came right back up, not only to an area of sell imbalance, in other words, red numbers in the tape, but we also came in to red horizontal lines, which are the block trades, okay? And we could not get above there. So that means those block sellers are being respected. And then we went down from there. Okay, I'm just going through all the questions. Thanks, guys, for all the questions and giving me time to... Yeah, Skip, I've shown some examples today on the longer term charts on the on charts like the 60-minute. Okay, the daily it's going to work the same way. You may just have to adjust some of the settings. That's all. But 30-minute, it doesn't matter whether I throw up a half-hour chart of the ES or a 3-minute chart of the ES. If there's a block trade that comes through, well, then it's going to show it, right? And I've shown examples of the block zones on the longer term charts, like the 60-minute chart. Yeah, dark pools, George. It's kind of on over and above the scope of the webinar. Basically, we're getting all the information that's off the CME or off the CVOT or the NIBOT. Okay, so if there's dark pools when it comes to stocks and things like that, there may be different reporting requirements. Okay, so that's but we're looking at what we can actually see, what's actually been bought and sold, and is actually registered on the registered on the exchange. Will this work on custom bar charts? Yes, it will. I trade off a 5-minute chart. How many longer term charts would I use to evaluate the next trade, Paul? Yeah, I mean, for me, I just look at a 5-minute, or pardon me, a 3-minute and a 15-minute. Do you have a specific time frame, or does it matter? Yeah, it doesn't matter, D. You know, it's really up to you what kind of time frame, what you're looking at. Okay. Let me see here. Somebody's asking me some good questions. What are some homework levels I did see on Kai's charts? Yes, Andres. All right, that's actually part of, I won't go into the homework levels, Andreas. That's actually part of your live sessions with Kai, where he'll go over that with you. So I'm not going to go over that, but there's some question here. Let me see. Specific time frame, no. Close. If you wanted to switch to rain bars in place of minute bars or whatever, there's no problem to switch to, you can put this on any kind of chart, Keith. However, if you were to switch from the 3-minute to, let's say, a range chart, you would lose this data. It's part of how Ninja's building the range bars. You know, all that is supposed to be taken care of once NinjaTrader 8 comes out. But yeah, how long have we been waiting for that? Wow, lots of questions coming in. Excellent. Stacked and balanced. Let's go back to stacked and balanced just for a minute, okay? So I want to answer that clearly. Actually, I guess the clearest way is to just bring up a chart that has some stacked and balanced on it. Well, you know, we talked about it earlier here. Okay, just to be clear, what is stacked and balanced? Okay, well, if imbalance is either aggressive buys or aggressive sells, okay, aggressive buys or aggressive sells, the stacked imbalance is when you have them stacked together on top of one another in sequence. For me, the minimum I like to see is at least 3 stacked together, somewhere between 3 and 5. Okay. So, for example, we had on this bar here, you had 3 numbers all highlighted in green, all stacked, one on top of another. What happened? As soon as that bar closed, this zone was actually drawn on the chart. So I'll just take off the block trades and everything else. So that particular zone right there is drawn on the chart, and you can see how that became the support zone. And as Stephen mentioned earlier, it was good for about 5 points or so. Okay. I'm actually really appreciate you guys asking all these questions, because it's guiding me towards what we need to be talking about. And since I'm not feeling well, I'm a little bit, speaking of balance, since I'm not feeling well, I'm a little bit off balance. Let's see. Yeah, so the training, again, we've got over 30 hours of video in the members section. I'll show you guys that in a little bit. You have 2 live over-the-shoulder training sessions with Kai when you make the full payment purchase of the NOFT. All right, those are anywhere from an hour to 2 hours each. All right, and he'll show you how to do the homework levels. How do you work questions if someone buys software? There's two ways, Bill. If it's trade-related questions, Bill, the trade-related questions you can send to myself or Kai. If you need help, if you're not getting it. The whole idea, guys, let's break it down like this. When you buy the Noft, okay, you get an email, okay, and it's going to have your password, etc. in there, okay. So this is the member section, all right, and I'm going to do more training after I just go through this, all right. So we'll probably wrap the webinar up at 2 hours or less, okay. So the next 5 or 6 minutes, I'm going to show you what's going to go on once you buy the Noft. Then I'm going to do some more training on how to use it. So this is the member section. When you come in here, I'm just going to tell you straight up, never mind what this has, go to the video library, okay, and watch all the videos first. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. Go to the video library, watch all the videos, okay? There is a wealth of information in these videos, okay? Product upgrade, presentation, Q&A, advanced product education, getting started, important chart templates and workspaces, first steps with the toolkit, footprint basics, bid-ask ladder basics if it's something you're not familiar with, institutional order flow basics, get an edge using order flow and knowing where the block trades and big pictures are, learn how to use the order flow sequence tracker, block trades and data reporting. Somebody was asking about dark pools earlier, and that's probably acknowledged in that video as well. Discover an edge in any market, getting to know your tools, institutional signal reading, the reverse signal. We were going to talk about that today, but we still haven't gotten into it. Sorry about that, guys. Practice trades, reduce your risk, sequence tracker block trades with order flow, training sessions. There's also 12 videos within there. So with over 30 hours of video in there, access to myself, access to Kai, the 2 live over the shoulder training sessions, you will get the hang of this, okay? If you can follow the instructions and actually go through the videos, write down the people that do the best with the Noft, plain and simple, they do their homework. They watch the videos, they take notes, they write down their questions, they send us screenshots. They continue to attend some of these webinars to pick up bits and pieces. Those are the people that do the best. There is work involved. In terms of downloading, you can download the complete toolkit. That's the easiest way to do it. That's what I recommend. If you just want to download individual files out of the toolkit, you can do that as well. When you scroll down to the bottom of that section where all the files are, you'll see there's chart templates. We have templates for a bunch of different markets: ES, NASDAQ, Russell, Dow, DAX, gold, crude, bonds. All right. You got Kai's personal chart templates. If you've seen any of Kai's webinars or had the sessions with him and you like his template style, well, you can use his templates. We have the workspaces to download and also the block trade filter settings. No problem, Paul. I appreciate you being here too. Good question, Brian. It is a lifetime purchase. Okay, so when you, I'll put all the relevant links, and then we'll get back into more training. Whoops, wrong paste there. Pasted the wrong thing there. There we go. Okay, so the order page, basically what's the order page? There it is. So on the order page, you actually get a description of each one of the indicators included within the package. All right. So what's the package going to include? The lifetime license is going to give you all the indicators shown on the page, the Orderflow signal generator, the on-demand video library, 2 group live over-the-shoulder trainings with Kai, all the upgrades, software additions, and educational additions, okay? And basically anything we put in the members area, you're going to get that. We have a no questions asked 14-day money-back guarantee, okay? And it's $34.99. Now if you want to try before you buy, there is a lease option, okay? It's going to give you all that you have in the lifetime license, but you're only going to get 1 group over the shoulder training with Kai, okay? It's $4.99 down payment and plus $1.99 and then $1.99 after that. What's cool about that is that the $4.99 can actually be applied to the full payment purchase. So if later you want to upgrade and get the lifetime license, that $4.99 can be applied to the $34.99. Purchase includes upgrades, Stephen. Yes, it does. Great last name, by the way. You're welcome, Ken. Crew chart, we'll go to that in a minute. You're welcome, Gina. Yeah, exactly, Chris. Aggressive. Chris is asking about, the aggressive, bigger numbers. Exactly. Multiples of the other side, right? Yeah, it'll work on with the lifetime license. You should have it. It'll be It will work on 2 computers. Okay, you just cannot run them concurrently. There's no monthly fee once you buy the lifetime license, Tyrone. If you go for the lease and decide to buy it outright, do you get a second over the shoulder with Kai? Yeah, you should because you're upgrading, Paul. Crew chart. Somebody wants to look at a crew chart. And we'll look at that and then we'll wrap things up a little bit here. Here's the crude. Okay, what do you want to see on the crude? Trader M. Can we access this recording? Will it be sent to us? Yeah, I'll send it out. I wrote Ninja. No release date yet for NT8. That's terrible, Gina. I was hoping you had some good news, Gina. No problem. Yeah, the lease Arajit, you would be able to use that as well on the 2 machines, but again, you can't run them concurrently. Okay. Okay, I have. Let's set up a time skip. Are you in the U.S. or are you back in Malaysia? Yeah, exactly, Trader M. Exactly. Trader M is a good question. Is that, whoops, I guess I hit the, 1 second. Just change that to regular crosshair there. Where were we? I think that was around 11, wasn't it? Something like that. Yeah, there we go. Right. You're welcome, Sven. Not my best webinar by far. but I'm glad you got something out of it. So Trader M is asking, so is the stacked, the bottom zone here, okay, this zone, is that acting as support? And the answer is yes, absolutely. In terms of training you how to use this, here's a quick tip, okay? What type of zone, whether it's a buy zone or a sell zone, is not as important as what the reaction is off of it, okay? You can have a buy zone that gets blown through, you tap back to it, and then you sell off of it, okay? Assuming that you've got what you need to enter the trade, okay? So in this case, we come down to what is actually a sell zone, okay? And the market can't get through that. No fee for YouTube, Tyrone. The YouTube channel is open to anybody. All right, so the idea is to maintain mental flexibility in your trading. All right, just know that this line. Well, let's go back. How long did you have to anticipate that zone? Let's scroll back. That zone was drawn at. Wow. That zone was drawn. It's a beautiful chart. Yeah, it is, Ken. All right. That particular zone that Trader M is referring to was drawn here on this particular bar. You had stacked imbalanced sells, aggressive sellers coming in. Okay. And that was drawn at about 10:25. Okay, on that bar there. So you had essentially at least 20 minutes after the market broke above that zone and came back to it. You could anticipate a reaction at that zone. Okay? This is crude on Friday, David. Yeah, this is actually just a you can adjust how long the. John actually has another great question. Man, John, I want. We've got lots of good questions this morning, but yours are very thoughtful. How long does the zone remain on the chart? The zone, you can actually adjust it, okay? You can actually adjust how long. And yeah, Ken, this is actually the template, okay? I practice what I preach. This template that you guys are seeing right now, this is one of the templates that you actually download from the members section. So you don't have to adjust all the colors and put all these indicators on the screen. You don't have to do that. It's plug and play, okay? This is a specific template that's good for crude. So I use that chart. By time or activity level, John. Yeah. If we go into the order flow sequence tracker, and actually the I ghost block is what the stacked imbalance is in, okay? So stacked imbalance, you can define how many stacked levels. So on this particular template, I have to have at least 3 stacked levels. I can actually have an alert if I want to. I've got that disabled. I can adjust the opacity of the zone that it draws. And then this is what you're asking about, John, the timeout, the stacked timeout type. I can adjust that to days, minutes, seconds. So some of you guys trading longer charts, you probably want to have that set to days, right? So if you're doing swing trading, or you're swing trading the options, or whatever you're doing, Nadex, whatever it is, if you're trading on a longer time frame, doing like swing trading, not day trading, then you can adjust that to days. So I've got it set to be on there for 8 hours, okay? I like it. It seems to be good for me. Okay. I didn't change it from the template. Okay. So again, everything's customizable. I can do the same with the block zones. Okay. So if I get a block zone, I can adjust how long I want that block zone to stay on the chart as well. Same thing with the block trades. Same thing with the stack trades. The actual lines. The lines are a little bit different. The actual individuals, the individual block trade lines, they're a bit different. Those you actually adjust based on the number of bars. So let's go back here. So block trades, line bars, okay? So how many bars do I actually want that block trade to go out into the future? So on this template, it's set to go out into the future 50 bars. Lots of questions. Yeah, can Nadex good to use at the NOFs? Yes, we ought to adjust it. Is it useful for options trading? Yes, it is. Can I get my NOF to activate the block zones option? How do you work questions if someone buys the software? As I said, it's, if there's a technical support question, then it's support at ninjaorderflowtrader.com. And so NinjaCaters is actually providing the support, technical support. But if it's a trade-related question, or you want to know, okay, am I reading this right? You can talk to me, talk to Kai, email me, or email Kai. Okay. Yeah, I don't have a 5,000 volume chart up of the CL, Frank. I'm sorry, or of the ES, if that's what you're asking earlier. NinjaTrader doesn't trade options. I'm aware that it doesn't trade options, but the tools are nevertheless valuable for interpreting the activity behind that. Let me see. Yeah, Ken, so this is the CL execution chart. So if you're looking for this particular template within the members area, it's the CL execution chart. Yeah, there's some issues in there, Frank. How long does the zone remain on the chart? Okay, we cut that. David, I think we answered that. Tyrone answered that. Trade examples on this crude trade chart. Okay, that's the thing. After you learn how to use it, it's just like, well, it becomes obvious. Okay. For example, okay, 10:30. We get a lot of aggressive selling coming down into this area, and we can't seem to go lower, right? Then on this particular bar, what happens? We get a very large aggressive buyer in here, 127. We get a 76 and a 62, okay? You have multiple possible entries here. Doesn't really matter which one. The bottom line is that you're going to get into this move with reduced risk, okay? And anybody who's seen my webinars before, or who has the NOFT, you already know what I'm going to say, aren't you? Where is the entry? You've got an entry at this two imbalances here, buy imbalances. You could enter either there or there, okay, or even ahead of them, okay? And where's my line in the sand? It's below that 127, okay? That's my line in the sand. All right. So you either have a little drawdown trade or a no drawdown trade. Okay. You don't see a 10 tick stop here, do you? You know, even the best entry obviously is right ahead of that 127. Would you got filled? I don't know. You definitely would have got filled where that 76 and that 62 are. And then what's your drawdown on that? Well, it's either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your max drawdown on that is 5 ticks with a stop of 7. Yeah, I'll show a Forex chart. Yeah, Skip, get in touch with me. It's great to hear from you again. My email is j@ninjaorderflowtrader.com. Okay, we'll get you sorted. Uh, 199 the candle. Hey, good question, Andreas. Andreas has a good question. He's saying this candle here, how would you avoid that? How would you avoid going long on this particular candle here? Okay, how would you avoid that? Well, really, Andreas, there's no. I would have to see it running live. Okay, because there's a couple things that we would look at. For instance, the position of the point of control. Okay. However, what I would say is that I don't see any aggressive buying in this candle at all. Okay. There is no green numbers in here. Okay. The only rationale that I can think of for going long on that particular bar, you have that 199 aggressive sell stuck down there. Going short? No, you can't. I've been in Hong Kong too long. I sound like my Honger friends now. No. No, you're not going short here. Come on, Andrew. Or pardon me, Andreas. No. If I'm looking for a short when we come down into this area, the very least I want to be looking for a short is up here with these guys, these stacked sellers, okay? Stacked aggressive sellers that drew the zone, right? That if you are going short there, and Andreas, I'm sorry, that is chasing, okay? That is a chase, okay? That's what we call the retail flush, and that is to suck in the retail and then move it higher, which is exactly what they did. Remember, this is at the end of a long move, Andreas. Think about it. You've gone from 96 just in this swing, okay? I think it's even higher than that, but let's just say this swing that I'm showing on the chart now. You've gone from that swing all that way, and you want to start going short here? No, you don't want to do that. And even if you did want to go short in this area, wait for that pullback to the stacked imbalance aggressive sellers. Why? Because at the very least, you're going to have low risk. There's a 4 tick or less stop there, okay? If you waited for it to come back into that zone. And then if you go lower, even though you don't go much lower than the previous low back there, you're still going to be able to get some contracts off, right? That's right. The 199 is the trap. Again, it's contextually trading, okay? You still have to have, you still have to do your homework. You still have to have levels. And, this isn't really much homework to do, just looking to the left on the chart and know, well, we've already made a big move down here. I should at least wait for the pullback, right? Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about, Frank. If let's say there was an area, for those of you familiar with volume profile, if there was an area where we're going to fall off a cliff, and you see aggressive sellers come in, okay, yeah, maybe you take the chance. But still, I don't like this because my risk is not well defined. My risk is at least up there. So if I'm short at that 199, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, possibly 11 tick stop. Sorry, that's too much for me. Yeah, sure, Russ. Awesome to see you again. Yeah, email me if you've got questions. Yeah, exactly. I should go down to Lang Bai Fong or Wan Chai to rest my throat. It's a little bit late for that. I mean, the nodes on the right-hand side show you that there's a better chance to go long back to the upper node. Yeah, I'm not sure I completely get you, Frank, but yeah, I mean, as soon as this bar comes into play and you see this aggressive buy come in, you know, it's game over, at least for some period of time, for the shorts. You've purchased the NOF Trader M? Yeah. Yeah, this template is in the members section. It's the execution template. So if you download or install all the templates, or pardon me, execution, not executive, execution. It's the execution template. Okay, we've got various templates. We've got structure templates. We've got execution templates. Yellow profile chart plus the delta histogram. Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. I have to go. Wife waiting. I'm going to email you. I think I'm going to buy. Yeah. Yeah. Email me, Bill. Any last-minute questions you have or anything you need me to take care of, let me know. Email me and I'll get you the correct link. I'll post the links again, specific links for contacting myself as well as the order page and the YouTube channel. CL to 1120. Yes, I can, Peter G. 1120. Where are you? 1120. There you go. Anything specific you want to look at, Peter? It's clear. How long has NOF been available? George, it's been around, I guess, 9 or 10 months. Are you entering on bid or ask for longs? I'm actually entering usually, Gene, with limit orders. So I'll wait. I'll identify an area. Like, for example, if you look at this bar here, and it does take discipline, but once you see it happen over and over again, it just becomes second nature. On this bar here, the close of the bar is actually up here, okay? My entry, I would actually wait until we came down to this 23 or 18, okay? And my stop is right there. Because at the time, actually I'll switch this to auction and you'll see it. See, I can see it because Kai taught me how to read this stuff without even using the auction indicator. Watch, I'll toggle the auction off. So there's no gold boxes or gold lines, right? And now I'll toggle the auction on. So on this specific bar, why am I waiting? Why am I waiting until here to enter? Because I've got two aggressive buy levels, the 23 and that 28 there. 23 and the 18 below it. Okay? I'm waiting until there. I'm not going long at this aggressive 48 level here. So when this bar opens, if this is bar 1 and this is bar 2, we retrace all the way back down to where that 23 and that 18 are on the previous bar. Now, why is my stop one tick below the bottom of the bar? Or below the bottom of the previous bar? Look at the gold box, the gold highlighting of the cell. Okay? See how it's highlighted in gold? There was a 9 by 4 there, right? That's an unfinished auction. So I know there's a possibility we might come all the way back to that 9.4 and then continue. So I would have had anywhere from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a maximum 6-tick stop. Assuming that I went in, didn't go in at the 23 or the 18. I went in 1 tick above the 23. So that's the worst possible entry point. My maximum risk is 6 ticks. And look as the market goes up. Remember when I said that auction lines are good places to trail your stop? There's the next one. There's the next one. There's the next one. Okay, let me see. So I hope I've answered that. Yeah, they're different. They're different things altogether. John is asking about the low volume nodes. These are these yellow lines up at the top here. There's some. Those are some low volume nodes, low volume areas, low volume nodes, whatever you want to call them, or LVNs for short. And you can adjust those within within the NOFT. Okay. So if I go to indicators, go to the NOFT volume composite, the show low volume, okay, I can adjust how many of those I want to see, or how many of them are going to show up, okay? But homework levels are something different altogether. Can I overload HVNs or LVNs from a higher time frame onto the tracker screen? I don't believe so. Not with the composite. Not right now. Not excuse me. Not right now. So, how would you set up the NOF reversal indicator, please? And does it only work on time-based charts? No, the Dave O'Brien. Yeah, you've got a good question there. I only said your last name because there's been quite a few Daves in here this morning. The NOFT reversal signal, that's this down here at the bottom. You're seeing these green and red colored cells. This can actually be traded as an algo. It's not available for that right now, but every time that thing pops up, you usually get at least a few ticks out of it. And some of the things it's doing is it's measuring where the point of control is, whether there's a slowdown in the buyers or sellers, etc. And then it's putting this, a green cell or a red cell on the chart. But this indicator, this reversal signal, it has to be taken in context again. So these are a couple. There's a couple signals in here that I would definitely be interested in taking. We come in to this sell imbalance zone that we talked about earlier that was previous resistance, and that sell imbalance zone becomes support. We come into that level and we get a signal on the reverse signal. Okay, and there's two of them there because one of them's got different settings. But nevertheless, we get that. And on the same bar that we were talking about earlier about the trade example, where's my entry, where's my exit? Same thing. On this bar 1, it's red. But when we come back down and test, we get a double green. Could be, Nestor. Could be. HFTs, yeah, I'll talk about that just in a second. Forex, I'll just quickly show a Forex chart. There you go. Variations on a theme. Okay. There's Euro US dollar on a 15-minute chart. Okay. So again, just variations on a theme. So let me see. I'll do one or two. I'll try to get through these last bit of questions. On a YouTube channel, Jay, is that your yacht in the harbor? What data feed do I have? I'm currently using Kinetic. Okay. As far as I know, the best two data feeds for retail traders out there are DTN QFeed and Kinetic. Yeah, the homework levels are part of your the homework levels. There's stuff in the videos about that, as well as your 2 live over the shoulders with Kai. He'll get you sorted with that. Yeah, one tick below the unfinished auction, Gina, regarding that crude chart we were looking at earlier. 830. Why do you want to see 830? Are you going to trade non-farm payrolls? No, that's what it's going to look like at 830. Funny enough, though, it did come back. It did come back where? To where there are a couple imbalances, sell imbalance. So there's your non-farm payroll craziness, right? Market comes right back up to where? Where the sell imbalance is. Continues down. Okay? 50 ticks from that point, right? So you don't have to trade the announcement, you can trade the pullback. Okay. All right, guys. I'm getting tired here. Let's see. Going back, and offers does only work on time-based charts. Yeah. Okay. So we acknowledge that the NOF the reversal indicator will work on other charts, not just the time-based charts. They only pop. Yeah, that's the issue with NinjaTrader right now. Okay, basically what I do is I keep my computer running throughout the week. So, and what the NOFT is going to do is going to save the bid-ask data into a folder in your NinjaTrader directory. Anytime, obviously, that you shut down the platform or are not connected to your data feed, it's not going to be storing that data. Unfortunately, that's a limitation of NinjaTrader right now. The only solution is A, for NinjaTrader 8 to be released, or B, for us to program it so that you would get backfill, but then it's going to be up down tick. Okay, it's not going to be the bid ask. It's going to be up down tick. It is going to be programmed for actually it is being programmed for a professional trading platform right now that won't have those kind of limitations that a retail platform like NinjaTrader does at the moment. I really wish NinjaTrader would come out with their new version. Yeah, like I said, Gina, well, if you're a professional trader already, when it comes out for the professional platform, that's not going to be an issue. But like I said, I keep it running throughout the week, and then I shut her down on the weekend. Good point, Jerry. It will work on replay. Okay, so that's no problem. It's going to work on replay. All right. Yeah, that's I hear you, Gina. You got special circumstances, so my suggestion, let's say you're a person who travels a lot. The only thing I can recommend at this time is you get a VPS, virtual private server, so that then your Ninja can be running all the time on a virtual private server, and then you don't have to worry about that at all. Contact support, John. Support at ninjaorderflowtrader.com if you're having that kind of issue. I mean, that's the thing, guys. Okay, it's 20 to 1 a.m. Hong Kong time on a Saturday night. If I didn't believe in this, I wouldn't be doing it. I wouldn't be spending the time to go through all these questions. Well, I use this computer for other things, Tyrone, as well. But I leave it. I got one of those stand-up power bar things, and so if I'm not at the computer, I press the button and all my screens turn off, but the computer's still running and internet's connected, etc. But so I just really want to say that we actually care. Okay, it sounds cheesy, but if I hear people that have challenges or whatever, I'll point them in the right direction. If I can't help them, I'll point them in the right direction. So somebody was saying they had having a technical issue with their Ninja or whatever. Okay, support at ninjaorderflowtrader.com. They'll take care of you. And yeah, so it works on replay. Not sure. I haven't tried that, Jerry. You might want to email support on that one. I use Interactive Broker Level 2 feeds in conjunction with Kinetic, and that helps. Plus, data is cheaper that way. Okay. Yeah, so there you go. All right, I'm just going through these last few questions to make sure. Sorry, Bill, I missed that 1124 one, whatever you were talking about there. I guess it's okay. Yeah, Chris, auction lines are unfinished business. Yeah, email me, Stephen. It's the same link too. So if you're going to go ahead and lease it, the link is in the go-to chat. It should be flashing right now. But yeah, email me if you want. Thanks, Trader M. Appreciate it. Peter G, yeah, 23 and 18 is where your charts confirm entry, yeah. That was on this specific one that we have in front of us right now. Trading platform gives you lots of slippage. I'm assuming that's IB. Is that IB, Frank, that's giving you lots of slippage on your stops? The only things I can think of is Thinkorswim. Huh. Anybody else have that issue with the Thinkorswim, TD Ameritrade? Well, it is what it is, Trader M. Yeah, there's a lot of guys out there that are just marketing stuff and trying to push you to buy it, and I just present it, and if it makes sense to you, great. If it doesn't, no problem. The other guy earlier who was, all I can say is that it was very poor taste. You know, I rarely get those kind of guys, so obviously he's got an axe to grind with somebody. Yeah, let the product do the job for me. How do you know that there's a change in direction on the 1140 bar? Yes, exactly, Chris. Good questions. You guys are still all right. I'll cut it off at 12 noon Eastern. Thanks, Gina. Yeah, we don't have a trading room. We only have the Skype, NOF Skype users room, you know, or NOF Skype trade room, and that's where it's invitation only because we don't want it to be a support room or a training room. It's where people have learned the NOF, know how to use it. They share post their trades and their ideas and how they're using the NOF in that. Yeah. The thing is, you know, we could open a trading room, okay? And the thing is, if I was to trade it, okay, if I was to trade it, could you trade exactly like me? Probably not. Would you trade exactly like me? Probably not. Would you want to trade exactly like me? I don't know. That's the thing with trying to have a trade room or a trade call room. Is the probability of people replicating what you're trying to do is very low. And then people get frustrated because either they see the moderator or other traders in the room doing well, or and they just, you know, they become jaded. They're like, well, you know, why can't I do that? The thing is, trading is a very personal thing. It depends on the amount of capital that you have at your disposal, the amount of time you have, the level of commitment that you want to make to this profession. And really, it's no different than being a doctor, a lawyer, a tradesperson, you know, plumber, welder, engineer, whatever it is, a nurse, whatever it is. It takes time and dedication. Let me see. Yeah, George, it can be used on any time frame. Okay, so it doesn't matter. You know, I could next webinar I'll put some daily charts up. Let me just go through those guys who are in queue here. Yeah, it's very strange, Frank. I would check your internet connection regarding your slippage issues. Try to avoid news times. Sometimes you can get some data bursts, and that's like, it sounds to me that's what's happening to you, but I don't know. You might want to contact your broker or their support, whoever they are. I'm going to answer Apurva's question. Okay, Apurva is asking on the 1140 bar. I'm assuming that this one, the 1140 bar. Why so many aggressive buyers? Okay. Notice how they're not, none of them are really stacked together, Apurva. And it's coming in to a low volume area, okay? Those are the LVNs. You should expect a pullback, okay? Remember I talked a little bit in previous webinars how the imbalance actually helps you too during choppy markets is that you'll see at the top of the range, you might see an aggressive buyer. At the bottom of the range, you might see an aggressive seller. Aggressive buyers, aggressive sellers when you're in a range. And not a lot of them, maybe a couple. But when you see this, the market's already taken off, and then now these big aggressive buy contracts are coming in. That's highly suspicious. And besides, we already acknowledged that there were much better entries way down here, here, and here, right? So I hope that answers that question. Yes, David, Kai is no longer with them. Neither am I. I used to be. Market maker laying a trap. Exactly, Arjit. That's the trap. Does go higher, yes. But I mean, why would you want to buy, near the top of the candle or on a potential reversal? That doesn't make sense. Long story, John. I've never had the Noft freeze, okay? And you need to be, once you get the Noft, you need to go into the member section, probably every 3-4 weeks, at least once a month. Go into the member section and download the latest version because they're always working on it, okay? They're always trying to make it work better. Stuff that you don't see behind the scenes, make it smoother, make it load faster. They're always working on that kind of stuff. I've never had it freeze my computer ever. How strong of a computer or RAM does one need? I don't know, but my computer works okay. Let me see. Here's my configuration. i7 477K. 3.5 gigahertz, 16 gig RAM, 64-bit operating system. So it doesn't have to be a server. Let's put it that way. Yeah, Rob, just send me an email and I'll put you on the list because I do these webinars usually 3 to 4 times a week. I am available for private mentoring too if you need it. Yeah, sure, Skype me. All right. The only thing that should be different on here, Trader M, you can email me, but the only thing that should be different on here is I've just color coded the buy imbalances to lime as opposed to blue. Other than that, I think it should be the same, and I might have done something different with the zones. I might have just adjusted how wide they are. All right, guys, a few more minutes left, and we're done. No relationship between us and market delta. The reversal signal, it's basically an algorithm. It's looking at various things within that are happening within the bar, such as the highest point of volume, etc. And then it's based on that, it's drawing the cell green or red. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. All right, guys, I think I have to cut it off. Thank you very much. The webinar went way over time. I really do appreciate the questions. I'm actually going to pull the chat log and have some of these, some of the really good questions that you guys gave me today. Make sure that they're included in additional webinars. You're welcome, Frank, Jerry, Gina, everybody. If I didn't get to your question, I apologize. I tried to go through all of them. Man, you guys are wicked. Welcome, Arjit. Hey, R.A. Welcome, George, Sally. David Swanson. I feel like I know that name from somewhere. Hey, Jan. Hi, Pavel. Welcome, Dave. Andreas. Thanks, everybody. I'll send you the recording of the webinar. Okay. Looks like the product has been greatly improved from a year ago when I first saw it. Yeah, definitely. And it's always a work in progress too. So that's the beauty of it. When you buy it, you'll get all the upgrades. Thanks, Paul. Good night, everyone. Have a great day. I know most of you are on the other side of the world. You're welcome, Klaus. In the next webinar, I'll spend more time on the examples as well. I mean, it's just nuts how many screenshots I have. I've put out lots of videos. I mean, if you're on the list, you've probably seen the videos that I put out of trades that I've actually taken. So, and there's actually examples of trades on the YouTube page too. So, it's not like we need to have the markets open to learn how to use it. Welcome, Peter. Hey, somebody on my side of the world in Singapore. Awesome. Welcome, Darren. Thank you. We are killing your Saturday night social life. Hey, if it's a passion, it's part of my social life. All right, good night, everyone. I didn't even tell you how much it was. Oh, well. Yeah, I did. You saw it on the page. All right, take care, everyone.